Hi, everybody, friends and relatives. I greet you here at the Ganya's channel. Today, this is a day that the Lord has made, and we want to thank God for being God. Today, we're here with Mother Fridolin Mangani, Reverend, who is the mother of this house, who has been fighting COVID-19 for 28 days now. She's back at work and she's back on a field. We've been following her on YouTube, but today she's alive, she's in a uniform. And there'll be some few questions that I would love to ask her so that she should share with you. How are you doing?
I'm alright, and you, Pa?
Good, my wife, to see you back, smiling with us, dining with us, not eating in the room alone. How does it feel?
It's actually strange, but it's very nice.
Yes.
Um, I've been saying over this period that COVID is a cruel virus because it keeps you from your family, keeps you from loved ones. So it's really nice to have that being restored.
Yeah.
Even though our boy is still in isolation,
Yeah.
we are so hopeful and we thank God.
But our son is a strong boy. He will win this battle. Because one thing that I've realized is that he doesn't feel sick. He's full of fear. Because if you can remember, before he knew that he was positive, he was okay. After getting the results, and so it's fear. He'll be fine. Yeah. So we're so happy to have her here. And then our next question will be, what was going through your mind when you were lying there helplessly, short breath, and what was going through your mind?
Hey, the short breath is the challenge. It was my challenge.
We're also scared when we look at you
Yeah.
when you couldn't breathe, you know?
And what went through my mind at that time was that really I am not in control. Because I could not stop myself from losing the air. I could not stop myself from not being able to breathe.
Yeah.
And it reminded me how small I am in this whole cosmos called creation.
Yeah.
And it just humbled me to make me realize the breath that I have in me comes from God.
And you're not in control.
I am not. And He will restore it at the right time.
Was it painful?
There's not so much pain as discomfort and powerlessness. Because you can feel the air leaving your body and you can do nothing about it.
Yeah.
But at least, I am grateful because all these rats, they helped. The onion on the chest.
The onion?
The eating of the onion.
Yeah.
The eucalyptus oil.
Yes.
The steaming.
Yes.
They helped a lot.
Yeah. Okay. I hear you, but I must confess, I've been trying to help you there and there, and doing that. But one thing that I hated is those onions. And to cut those onions, and the smell, and it was very terrible, really. I remember the last day when you said you should take a walk, and I was worried that when you can, walk around the street there, then where am I going to get onion on the street? No, but we're happy that you are here. How did people react after hearing that you were isolated? I'm talking about friends and family. Are you happy with the support? Did people give you support? Did you get calls? And what did people do? What can you tell them, those who were there for you at this time?
When it comes to support,
Yeah.
it even came from places you never thought.
Yeah.
When I started opening up on the channel about what I was going through, and immediately people started sending on Messenger, sending advice, giving me tips, and people who normally would like your things on Facebook, but you would not really be in constant contact with them. And people started sending messages, you know, of encouragement. People started calling. It was so overwhelming. One thing I have learned, and I think this is one of the lessons we should learn from this experience, is that no one is an island.
Yeah.
And we must be grateful for the fact that God has placed people around us.
Yeah.
I was speaking to Mamuruti Omong yesterday. She called me to ask how I am. And she went through a lot herself.
Yeah.
And last year she was sick, very, very sick.
Yeah.
A lot of times probably she might have become hopeless, she said. But she said what kept her going is that she knew people are fighting in prayer for her.
Yeah.
She knew that people were fighting this fight with her.
Yeah.
And because they were fighting for her, she also had to fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that she does not disappoint them. And I think this rings true for me as well. Because so many people started praying and interceding.
Yeah.
And it made me realize that really we don't have to carry our loads alone. If we can just open up. Not everybody will pray, but 99% will stand in the gap for you. And I am so grateful for that.
People love you. People enjoy your messages. People love the way you carry yourself. They admire you and all that. And they send messages like this. In some you haven't even met. They just send messages on Facebook and what. And now they'll be watching this message, this interview. There they are. I wanted to look at them, Mamangani, and thank them for what they've done to you.
You know, being African speaking, I love Xhosa hymns.
Yeah.
And I love the words and the diction in the Xhosa language. And I think the only way for me to express myself to all of you who reached out, who said a word of comfort, who sent a message, who gave me tips, who went into their prayer rooms, into their war rooms, I think the only way to describe it today is to say, Ama.
Hey, yeah, thank you so much. Hey, Katlaka Muruta, Limutuile, Ama. Kana, she's from Pal, you know, and the only language that she could speak when she came here in 1996, it was only Afrikaans. Now she can say Kamako. None of it, I don't even know how to say Kamako. Yeah, but we thank the Lord. You know what? When I went to work today, it was my first day because I was isolated with you. And some of the members at work, they know that the understanding is that I was also positive. And I saw them when I went to office to greet them. Some, they were not wearing their mask and everything. But when I came in, you know, they put on their mask and they tried to distance themselves. So I was wondering, how was the reception today at work? When you went there after 28 days, how did they receive you? How was the reception? Because we've got this stigma, you know, as people. So how did they, you know, like welcome you at work?
Well, in my case, I think what counted in my favor, if I can put it that way, is that our management area has been exposed to the virus.
Yeah.
Because we have had a number of confirmed cases. And when they were going through their challenges and they were in isolation, I would give them words of comfort. And I would encourage them, you know, as a chaplain. And a lot of them realized I'm not there. And I was gone for 28 days, others 14.
Yeah.
Mine was quite extended. And so in the morning, I was a bit anxious, to be honest. I did not announce my return. I went into my office and I stayed there for a couple of hours just by myself. Because I did not want them to be uncomfortable in my presence. But it was amazing when others started to see me as I had to fill in, you know, in terms of administration that needed to be taken. You know, they were so happy to see me. And they were saying, Chaplain, welcome back. We've missed you. We
That's
haven't
so
seen you.
nice.
It was such a beautiful feeling,
Oh.
really to experience. And it made me realize that knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them have been in isolation, have come back, have recovered. And so they will not stigmatize you. They know exactly what you are going through.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing about it.
Oh, great stuff. And then what can you tell people? What have COVID-19 taught you? What can you say? I've learned this from this disease.
What I have learned is that all things work out for good
Yes.
to those who love the Lord.
To those who love the Lord.
All things.
Not everybody, but for those who love the Lord.
All things.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I might not have anticipated this in my plan. But then I had to be humbled during this period. A reminder from God that it is not my plan. It is His plan. And what I've learned from this experience, COVID, is that family is important.
Yeah.
What I've learned is that there are things that you must cut off in your life. There are things that are just unnecessary, that take up too much space in your life, that you forget to make real quality time with your family. And so because I had to be cut off from everything and everyone, and I only had to be with my family, I then realized the importance of family. I realized the importance of having a true relationship with God. When we say whatever you do it to the glory of God. Whether you are eating, whether you are walking, whether you are, the fact that I now realized just breathing comes from God. It made me to have a closer relationship with God. And it made me realize how much I have neglected my relationship with God. I become so busy with so many things. And yet I was supposed to start with Him in order for me to be able to glorify Him in all these other things.
We thank the Lord for that. Now, you are a mother. You've got 2 boys. We've got our 2 handsome boys. And 3 boys. We've got 3 beautiful, handsome boys. And now, as a mother, you are struggling with the COVID-19. And then struggling with the COVID-19, then you are told that your son is also struggling with the COVID-19. How did you manage? How did that make you feel? Struggling with that and knowing, because even under normal circumstances, when you are negative, but your son is positive, it's heavy on a mother. But now you are both positive. How did you cope? How did you take it so that you could stand again and talk about God and be so brave to the world, knowing that it's me and my son? How did you cope?
The day when I got the news that I expected to be testing positive again, because I was still presenting with all these symptoms. But when I heard that he tested positive, that guilt. I made my son sick. It was a bit disturbing to me. But then I also had to go back, and remind myself, not my plan, God's plan. What I have learned over this period is that before I complain, before ke balabala, before ke question Amudin, before I want to become angry, I must go back and ask Him what the plan is. And tell Him I will trust Him with the plan. And I know that God will not bring it on our path if He does not have a way out. And I think that's what kept me going. And then I wiped my tears, and then I started to encourage my boy. If Mama, who's struggling with short breath, can go through this, where now your immune system is stronger, you'll be okay.
And then you being strong, automatically it will make him also to be strong.
Exactly.
But to see that you are worried about him crying and all that, it will also make him weak, because now he's becoming, he worries too much about you. So I think people should learn that, to be strong for one another, more especially us as parents in this time of this pandemic. Lastly, before we close the session, I just want you to talk to those who are there, who are lying, who have tested positive. Some, this is their second day, some is the third day, some they've just started today and they are scared. There's a lot of medication there, bulingana and everything, and they get so many calls. They are also overwhelmed that you must drink this, and they are so terrified. What can you tell them? Can you just tell them, words of encouragement to them?
What I want to say is that at this point in time, COVID-19 should not be regarded as a death sentence. Maybe in March when we got our first case, it could have been regarded as such. But even that one first case recovered. And so for those who are going through the pandemic and experiencing the symptoms, or even not the symptoms, but the anxiety, I want to encourage you that be true to yourself first of all. Acknowledge what you are experiencing. But tell yourself it will get better. I constantly had to remind myself, especially during those moments of the short breath. And I had to converse with God and tell him, I declare I will live, I will not die. Because your plans for me are to prosper me, not to harm me. Don't focus so much on the news. Everybody says that, but it's the truth. Notice that there are more recoveries than anything else. Don't panic, because it's the panic that makes you actually to lose control. And then you just lose your handles over everything. Stay calm. Know that you can get through this, but fight. Don't give in. Fight, because any enemy wants you to surrender. So in order for you to overcome an enemy, you must stand up, take up your batons, and you must fight. And when you fight and you realize life is worth fighting for, the Lord will do the rest.
Thank you so much. And above all, seek the connection with God. When you are there, seek the connection with God. Ask him to be with you. And like Mama said, please avoid the news. Watch comedy movies. Laugh, Make yourself happy. Don't worry too much and complain and crying, because that's when your health will deteriorate. Thank you so much, Mother, for the nice interview. And we are so happy that you are here. I must confess, I was really worried. The other day I was telling, I said, tell me the truth. Are you living? When she was saying, I'm getting well, I'm okay, and I'm getting well. And I said, most people, they say that I'm getting well there, and they're saying I'm getting well for the grave. But, it has proven that she was telling me the truth, that she's getting well and she's coming back to us as a family. And we'd like to thank God and thank you all for your support. Thank you. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for me to sleep in another room, knowing that my wife is on the other room. But now we're back together in the same room. May God bless you and keep you. We love you. Bye.